Welcome to the second episode of our chilling series. Prepare yourself for a descent into the depths of fear and suspense. Our story begins with Evelyn returning home after an extended trip. The familiar setting holds a surprise for her. The hallway mirror, once just a mundane household item, now appears to have developed sentience, staring back at her with an unsettling intensity. Despite the mirror's eerie presence, Evelyn finds herself drawn to it, unable to look away from its surface. As days pass, Evelyn notices subtle changes in the mirror's reflection. Her doppelganger seems to have a life of its own, moving independently and even smiling eerily. At first, Evelyn dismisses these occurrences as figments of her imagination or tricks of the light. However, as the reflection's behavior becomes more pronounced, she realizes that something sinister is afoot. Determined to uncover the truth, Evelyn delves into the history of the mirror. She discovers a cryptic journal that reveals the mirror's sinister nature as a portal to another dimension, a gateway for malevolent entities seeking to enter our world. Armed with this knowledge, Evelyn confronts her doppelganger, determined to banish it back through the mirror and restore her world to normalcy. But the mirror's power proves to be formidable and the doppelganger relentless. Will Evelyn succeed in defeating this doppelganger and sealing the mirror once again, or will she become another victim of its sinister allure? Join us as we delve into this tale of doppelgangers, mirrors, and the unnerving secrets that lie within the depths of our own reflections. Let the suspense unfold. Let the fear take hold. And remember, sometimes the things that haunt us the most are the ones we can't see. In the flickering shadows of the hallway, where the mirror stood like a silent sentinel, Evelyn could feel the weight of unseen eyes upon her. Since her return from her trip, she had tried to ignore the premonition that something was amiss, but the mirror's watchful gaze had become impossible to shake. It seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, beckoning her closer while repelling her at the same time. One evening, as the sun began its slow descent, casting long shadows across the room, Evelyn found herself drawn to the mirror once more. As she stared into its depths, she noticed something that made the blood run cold. Staring back at her was not her own reflection, but a distorted version of herself with a cruel smile on her lips. For a moment, their eyes met and Evelyn felt a jolt of terror shoot through her. This was no mere trick of the light. Days turned into weeks and the phenomenon persisted. The doppelganger seemed to grow stronger, its movements becoming more erratic and unsettling. At times it would mimic Evelyn's actions with eerie precision, as if mocking her. Other times it would remain motionless, its vacant stare boring into her very soul. Fear began to grip Evelyn's heart, tightening its icy fingers around her chest. She tried to convince herself that what she was seeing was merely a figment of her imagination, a byproduct of exhaustion and loneliness. But deep down, she knew there was something sinister at play. The mirror, once a simple object reflecting her daily life, now served as a portal to a realm of darkness and despair. Determined to uncover the truth, Evelyn delved into the history of the mirror, unearthing a long-forgotten journal that hinted at the mirror's sinister nature. According to the cryptic entries, the mirror was not just a mere reflective surface, but a gateway to another dimension, a nexus between the world of the living and the realm of the dead. With each passing day, the line between reality and illusion blurred. Evelyn found herself questioning her own sanity. Was she truly seeing a doppelganger, or was she losing her mind? The whispers in the house grew louder, feeding her doubts and amplifying her fears. In the quiet moments, she could almost hear them slithering through the walls, taunting her with their unintelligible murmurs. The house, once a sanctuary, had become a labyrinth of fear. Each room held a new horror. Each shadow seemed to conceal a lurking entity. Evelyn was not alone in this nightmare. Something else lurked within the halls of the house, something malevolent that fed on her terror and reveled in the chaos it created. One night, as the full moon cast an eerie glow over the house, Evelyn heard a voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. The voice called out her name, a whisper at first, then growing in volume until it echoed through the rooms like a scream. Panicked, she ran from room to room, desperately seeking the source of the voice. but it seemed to follow her, taunting her with its ghostly whispers. Exhausted and terrified, she collapsed onto the floor, tears streaming down her face. She felt utterly helpless, trapped in a house that had become a prison of fear. Then, as suddenly as it started, the voice faded away, leaving behind an unsettling silence. In the aftermath, Evelyn found solace in the company of others, reaching out to friends and family for support. But even their presence could not banish the feeling of dread that permeated the house. The whispers continued, though now they seemed to come from within the walls themselves. Day and night they taunted her, reminding her that she was not safe, that the house was alive and watching her every move. As time went on, the boundary between reality and the mirror world became increasingly blurred. Objects moved on their own, doors opened and closed without warning, and the doppelganger in the mirror seemed to mock her with a cruel and knowing smile. The whispers grew louder, forming words, then sentences. They spoke of a darkness that lay dormant, waiting to be awakened, and of a sacrifice that must be made to appease the enemy that lurked beyond the mirror. Driven by desperation, Evelyn turned to the internet seeking answers, poring over old wives' tales and urban legends about mirrors. She learned of the occult significance of mirrors as portals to other realms and of the potential dangers that lay hidden within their reflective surfaces. Some said mirrors could trap souls. Some said they could serve as gateways for malevolent spirits to enter our world. Could this be what was happening to her? Was the mirror in her house a gateway to hell? In a last-ditch effort to find a solution, Evelyn contacted paranormal investigators, hoping they could help her unravel the mystery of the mirror. They arrived with cameras and EMF readers, ready to explore the house and uncover any hidden secrets. As they investigated, they captured strange anomalies on their equipment, suggesting the presence of an unseen force. But even their expertise could not fully explain what was happening in the house. The situation grew increasingly dire. Evelyn's doppelganger in the mirror seemed to become more real, more solid, as if it were reaching out to touch her world. The whispers in the house grew louder, more insistent, and the sense of dread and impending doom intensified. Evelyn knew she had to take action before it was too late. She confronted her doppelganger in the mirror, determined to banish it back through the portal. As she stared into the mirror, she saw a twisted version of herself staring back, a creature of darkness with eyes that burned like coals. The doppelganger beckoned to her, promising power and control if she were joined. But Evelyn refused. She realized that this was not her true self, but a manifestation of her deepest fears and darkest desires. With a surge of newfound determination, she shattered the mirror. The glass fell away, revealing a swirling vortex of darkness. The doppelganger screamed as it was pulled back into the void. The battle was over. The house was silent. In the aftermath, Evelyn struggled to piece together the fragments of her life. She had emerged victorious, but the experience had left an indelible mark on her soul. The encounter with her doppelganger had forced her to confront her inner demons, to acknowledge the darkness that lay dormant within her. But she had faced it head-on and emerged stronger on the other side. Now with the mirror gone and the doppelganger banished, she could finally begin the long process of healing and moving forward. However, as she surveyed the damage, a chill ran down her spine. Among the shards of the broken mirror, she noticed a tiny sliver that glinted ominously in the corner. As she reached down to pick it up, the fragment seemed to riff as if with a life of its own. Then, to her horror, she saw a faint image forming on its surface, a twisted reflection of herself, her doppelganger, smiling back at her with a promise of vengeance. The battle may have been won, but the war was far from over. Now watch as Evelyn faces her doppelganger once more. Click here to continue the terrifying tale, and don't forget to subscribe for more spine-chilling stories. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the depths of fear. If you dare, we invite you to continue your exploration of the unknown by clicking on the video on screen. And don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying tales that will haunt your dreams. Until next time, may your nights be filled with sweet dreams and your days free from nightmares.